What is going on, Savage Patriots? Hey, as you can see, there's 3 on the panel. Marlon is running a little bit late, and we're going to discuss Big Shirley. Oh, Fanny, right? Big Shirley. And you remember where we talked about don't have any skeletons in your closet a couple episodes ago. So yeah, this ought to be a good one. We're going to play the audio for you. We have the audio from the leak call, and we will see you guys on the other side. Yes. Now, it's been a common theme with everyone that's gone after Trump these last few months. It's always something comes up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He knows how to pick his enemies. I'd say that.
Or his enemies know how to pick him.
Yeah, right. It's like they always seem to go after him for the most ridiculous things when they themselves have the most ridiculous things.
Now let's remember and bring everybody up to speed. The person in question, Miss Big Shirley herself, Fani Willis, she is filing RICO charges to, I would say, current President Trump, and and her legal team is made up of a guy that she's smashing, she paid upwards of $675,000 as his base salary. And this is a lawyer that has no record, no experience under his belt, and
no relevant experience, I would say.
Correct.
In criminal cases.
Isn't he a personal injury lawyer?
Yeah, it's something like that. He's a private lawyer.
Yeah.
And he hasn't won a case. Correct?
Not to my knowledge.
I don't think so.
And like we were saying earlier, that's the thing, man. And it goes not just for people like Trump or big famous people or anybody, just people within that
Yeah.
If you're going to go after someone, especially in the age we live in of social media, if you're going to go after someone, you better not have any skeletons in your closet, because they will find it and they will come after you. So you better make sure you are the perfect person walking this earth before you try to go at someone. And it showed in this call.
Are we gonna play it?
Oh yeah, we're gonna play it. Okay, we're about to play it. So
I don't think it was a call. It was a meeting. She was having
or a meeting. It was a leaked meeting. Is this it, Coy, or is this something else?
It's the green bar one.
I don't.
With the Savage Patriot logo
down here.
Yeah.
Damn it. Well, I can't get to it for some reason. No. Take it off and repost it.
Okay. Well, we can play the other clip while we're waiting, which is really kind of funny too. It goes inside with this. So she campaigned on the fact that she was going to be, somebody that wasn't going to be corrupt and things like that.
Yeah.
You should really listen to this interview. It's hilarious.
It should be the absolute best office between Washington, D.C. and Miami. And right now what you have is a office of dysfunction and corruption, and we deserve better. And I am the right choice to improve it.
Corruption, Ms. Willis, that's a strong word to level against the office that Paul Howard has run for nearly a quarter century. If he gets reelected, it'd be more than 25 years.
You have a DA sitting there that doesn't have the qualifications and the experience to do the job. What I can guarantee you is with my reputation, with my community ties, I am going to be able to attract the best and the brightest minds to that office. You're sitting with someone today that actually wants to make a difference, because they deserve a DA that won't have sex with his employees, because they deserve a DA that won't put money in their own pocket when it should go to benefit children, because we deserve better.
The exact thing she was talking shit about the previous prosecutor for is something she did exactly with.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like, you cannot even make that up.
And this is the typical leftist, because she is a leftist playbook. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah,
You know,
rules for
I'm
thee,
going to
not for me.
do what I accuse my opponent of doing. Exactly what she's doing.
Honestly, I don't know what it is about Black women in positions of power, especially in Atlanta, but it's an epidemic going around, because there's another story like this. But I'm just saying, like, for some crazy reason, women in power. I'm just saying.
Well, you know,
you're coming off a little bit sexist there, Lee.
You know what?
Yeah, a little misogynist.
Can stick a fork in me.
I hear a little tune of misogyny in your voice.
And there'll be
but
more.
no, you're not wrong, because like I know we have a good population of women that watch our show, and I'll ask that: has any of the women that watch the show ever been in an office full of nothing but women? And tell me if you would prefer that or having male coworkers. And I will tell you exactly what the answer is. No, they would not like to work with all women.
A bunch of cattiness going on 24/7.
I know, because my wife had that happen to her before, and I had to listen to how awful it was to work with nothing but women.
And I've worked with women, not so much in the military, except, you know, when I was a drill sergeant. Yes, that was a short time. But when I worked for the sheriff's department, you know, women have a fouler mouth than men, and they say some of the most wild stuff sometimes, worse than the dudes. So yeah, I can see it, man. A bunch of women in there, catty. That time in the month, they're just all angry and mad, and they're all just going at each other. They're hating her for the way she looks, and they're hating her hair. I mean,
it doesn't even have to be
Less
that.
than
It could just be
a
like she just gives off the bad vibes. Like, I just don't like her. Why do you like her? I don't know. Just something about her. I just don't like her. And that's how it usually goes. And then there's going to be that clique in the office, and then that person's excluded from all the others, and just makes a toxic relationship for the entire office space. But anyway, the point being, she's doing everything toxic that she's complaining about her male counterpart for doing. She hired somebody. Not only was she having sex with them.
What is the sentence theme? Once I told
Go ahead.
him
You didn't have
about
to start it. I was just putting it up.
respectfully in an email about his lack
Can you
of
pause it?
leadership and the fact that he wanted to do things with grants. That
I guess it automatically starts when it goes. Anyway,
Yeah.
So what I was saying is that she was doing the exact same thing that she was complaining of this dude doing. She hired the guy that he was married, right? It wasn't that she was just having a consensual relationship with a dude and then she hired him and then got free trips out of it. She was stealing somebody else's man, which is a bitchy thing to do in the first place, right? Then going on secret trips with the said man off of taxpayer money that she hired him to prosecute Donald Trump for election interference because it's a political case. So it's like, how would you bring a political case on somebody that you're saying is worse than Hitler in most people's eyes on the left, while you're banging the guy you're hiring with taxpayer funds? And that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I wonder if this is just the beginning, man. You know, she already got caught with the dude. And now the money, and then she's going to get pulled from the case. You know, that's going to happen. So
if it doesn't
I
get
wonder,
thrown out entirely.
Yeah, it's just going to be done.
I thought I can neither confirm nor deny, but I thought I saw headlines suggesting that the case is on the verge of getting thrown out. Prove me wrong.
It should, and it's going to shake up the whole election. It's going to shake it up, and the left won't have anything. What are they going to cry about now? Everything that they've thrown at this man has came back and bit him in the butt. Everything, because skeletons. You know, you can't hide those things. It's going to come out. So, and here is the actual leaked meeting that we're talking about. So listen closely and tell me what you think, audience. Listen to it.
were impossible, and I kept telling him, like, we can't do that, and questioning stuff. He would take me off projects, tell people I wasn't doing what I was supposed to because I questioned him. Because I understood, I helped write that grant. I knew what was in that grant. He told everybody in front of Crystal, Deontay, everybody, we're going to get MacBooks, we're going to do that, we're going to get swag, we're going to use it for travel. I said, you cannot do that. It's a very, very specific grant. Took me off. I questioned Junior DA. There's kids in there from out of the county, all this.
took me off junior DA. I did not want to do it. He made it look as if I wasn't doing what I needed to do because I questioned him. Because I knew for a fact Mr. Cuffey respectfully did not know what he was doing. Period.
So I respect that is your assessment. It was clear to me that you and Mr. Cuffey were not getting along. And I'm not saying that your assessment is wrong. I want you to really listen to the words I'm saying.
Cuffey, and this is my personal opinion, to one woman to another, is dangerous to your administration. He tells people, when I reached out to you, he told me, you think your word is safe? Exactly when you reached out to Miss Willis, she called me and told me, she tell me everything. So once you reach out to her, she's going to reach back out to me. So I didn't even go to HR because he put Dexter's name on my PDP and I didn't even feel safe going to anybody.
Can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 supervisors that have failed in this building. What's interesting to me, because I'm in a learning curve too, they each pretend to have a relationship with me that they do not have. Mm-hmm. I guess that's an intimidation tactic. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry that you felt that way, but Dexter certainly don't have no relationship with Michael Cuffey. You were safe to go those places.
You
wait
were.
A minute. Hold on a second.
You were safe.
Well, wait a minute. Did anybody catch that? I'm hearing a whole bunch of like these modern women talking points. Like, I'm sorry you feel that way. I mean, it's not my responsibility, but I'm sorry you feel that way. It's like, what?
Oh yeah, no, she was deflecting hardcore.
Oh yeah,
and like she did
was.
not want to take responsibility for that. But that's like that kind of the modern feminist thing to do, right? Is accept no responsibility for anything ever. But here's the thing: is like she was fired promptly about 50 days after this conversation.
Now that she got fired, imagine what she'll say now. Just imagine.
That's why the audio came out.
Yeah, and it's going to be more. There's going to be more, and the only thing that they can make, she signed an NDA or something, but I doubt she did because this audio came out. But she was smart for recording this, and you could tell how, Big Shirley, Fani, was trying to protect her dude. Yeah, he must be breaking her off something, right? But yeah, she, and this is why when you talk about modern day feminists and feminism in general, not all, more the some feminists.
Oh no,
yeah, the majority. Let's say that.
50, yeah.
You see how they're hypocrites, because it's like the whole Me Too movement, the whole this women believe women and all this other crap they talk about. But the minute this woman came to her, and it sounded like she was being genuine, she kind of like deflected, like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna protect this man over here, but I'm a feminist, but I'm gonna protect this man's word over your word. It's all
right, because that's exactly what happened. And she brought up a whistleblower complaint to her boss that somebody was trying to misuse federal funds. I want to remind you again, misuse federal funds, because that's what grants are. They are funds from the federal government to certain things. They have to write specific papers requesting for that money. Yeah. This is the reason why it's so egregious, is the fact that somebody in her office, not her yet, I'll say yet, because we don't know if she was involved in the scheme. We'll say this, as of yet, this dude that was in charge of that money wanted to spend it on other things other than the program that they wrote for, which is a no-no in grant writing. Like if you write for a grant of a specific type, all the money has to go to that program.
Right.
Now you can say we're using it for certain expenses for said program, like he was trying to do with the MacBooks and all this other stuff. And it's like, you still can't do that, because if they can say you did that because you were just wanting new shit,
right,
then that's fraud. You can't do that. And so that leaves up a giant thing of liability. So that also calls into question her leadership in the DA's office. If she has any control over her subordinates, and how many cases have these people messed up because of the poor leadership of her office?
Yeah, and how many cases have they messed up for money? When money's involved, they'll mess up any case. They'll put somebody in jail that's totally innocent with the right amount of money.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
big time.
But that's essentially what this is. I mean, you really think about it. She campaigned on the fact that she wanted to go after Donald Trump, or at least in New York. I don't know if I'm confusing the two people. It might not be her, but in certain instances, they are using these leverage points of running as an anti-Trump person and looking for any ability to get him arrested. Right?
That's
It's like,
right.
this reminds me of another story. So there was a rapper that was arrested at the Grammys yesterday.
Killer Mike.
Can't remember his name.
Killer Mike, yeah.
Right. Killer Mike was arrested. Do you know what he said a couple of days before this on Bill Maher show?
Yeah, he talked about, it was something about voting, if I remember.
He would not admit who he was going to vote for.
Yeah,
2, he did not endorse Biden.
that's
And
right.
2 days later, at the Grammys, he was arrested for assaulting a security guard.
Yes.
A misdemeanor offense, which if you see the TMZ video, looks like they were just chasing after him, causing shit in order to get him arrested. So
I saw that,
believe me, do I think the Democrats are capable of doing something like this, even though they're absolutely corrupt? Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt. I know they would definitely do that.
You know, we've said it before, is when it comes to like politics and the government, they control every aspect of everything that happens when it comes to the Department of Justice, when it comes to the justice system. So if any celebrity really came out and was anti Biden, talked about Biden, didn't endorse Biden, you know how easy it would be for them to input something in a system saying that you have a warrant, some minor offense. It's so easy for them to come after you. And that's kind of what they did to, what's the name? Magic Mike? Not Magic Mike.
Killer Mike.
Killer Mike. I said Magic Mike. Killer Mike. That's kind of, because, that little scuffle, we would have looked at that in Walmart or Target and just been like, whatever. It is what it is. It's over. Keep it moving. But they had to get him on something. And all they did was make a phone call to their buddy. Their buddy made a phone call to that sheriff or that chief and was like, we need to get him on this. And that's all they did. The silence.
It's not that he said he wasn't not voting for Biden. It's just he didn't outright verbally endorse Biden. Like he didn't say who he was voting for. He wasn't voting for Trump or Biden. He just said, listen to the policies. And it was Bill Maher who was pressing Killer Mike to say, hey, so you're going to vote for who? And
that's
right.
You
can't say you're going to vote for Trump, right? And he's like, no, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm not going to say who I'm voting for. Vote on policies. That's what he said. Vote on policies, not the person. Right?
Like
I just think it's coincidental. That's all.
Yeah, it's a little coincidental there. A big guy like that got 3 Grammys and then he walks away in cuffs.
Right? Wow. And he just happened to be on an interview where he was negative of Biden. Sure. Because you remember, I'll have to pull up the clip because it's actually really good because it goes right into along with this.
Yeah, we can pull it up.
But it just goes to show, like, the Democrats are willing to do anything, even if you are a celebrity who's on your side for the most part.
Right.
Right. And here's the other thing. Like, you have to see the motion to dismiss in this case too for Michael Roman, one of the defendants in the case in the RICO cases that she brought against him. So it says, let me be clear. If Mr. Roman had not uncovered the now admitted personal relationship between Willis and Wade, no one may have ever known about it. That raises the obvious and important question. If they had nothing to hide in the first place because they did not do anything wrong, then why did they intentionally not tell anyone about it until they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar? That's a legal proceeding document that's coming from, dude.
Ooh, wow.
All right, you want me to pull this one up?
This is the document I was reading from.
All right,
so this is the court document for the motion to dismiss. This highlights the very reason why this court cannot take their word for it. They now attempted to escape accountability by asking this court to deny Mr. Roman's right to cross-examine and test their assertions. I'm going to bring it up more. At an evidentiary hearing, going as far as to submit an affidavit from Wade that was inadmissible in a violation of confrontation clauses in both the United States and Georgia Constitution.
Wow.
So, like, their argument is like, if this is it wasn't such a big deal, then why did you hide it?
Exactly.
Right? And why are you denying my client the ability to defend himself off of people who are obviously doing wrong themselves?
Yeah, I mean, the Trump team is going to eat this up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to eat it up, and they're just going to keep showing and proving that the Democratic Party is very corrupt, including some people on the right, very corrupt. And the thing is that nothing is hidden, man. Everything is there for you to see. I mean, you can't hide it forever. And when you go after a billionaire, they have ways and ways and ways of figuring out things. So there's going to be more that comes out. You'll see.
And like you said, I really hope that the Trump legal team eats this up with them foaming at the mouth at this. I hope so.
And they will, but like I said, it's like this is how the election year is going, is because of the fact that they have a lot riding on the fact that these cases have to be won. Right, because they can't get Donald Trump off the ballot without winning these cases. And if this one particularly gets thrown out, then their narrative of insurrection and like election interference goes out the window too.
Yeah,
that's right.
Right, it's like like the case, you might have merits on the case or whatever, but now you have it running by people who are obviously corrupt, which does not do anything for your credibility and trying to go after Donald Trump. Like, period.
And on corruption, you know, if they're doing it to Trump, you got, like you said, they have to look at so many different cases now.
Yeah.
You know, you look at George Santos, and wasn't a fan of his, but they took him out for some OnlyFans and, you know, election donations.
Yeah. Like
gone. See you later, you know? And then it's recently that guy that did the sex tape on the floor.
No charges. Yeah.
No charges. This is how corrupt they are. And I'm surprised that people can't see it.
You're missing somebody in that.
Who?
Menendez, the guy with the gold bars and his stash of money in his jacket. That he's on the federal indictments, who is still in the Senate right now voting on immigration policy.
That's right.
Right?
Fancy
this guy
that.
didn't lose his seat. He's still in office, right? And he was caught literally taking money from a foreign nation.
I mean, look at Eric Schwalwell, you know, Juicy Lips. That's what I like to call him. Look at him, you know, with a Chinese spy.
What's her name? Ping,
yeah,
Ping,
the
Mei
spy
Mei?
who loved me.
Ling Ling?
That's what he's doing.
Huh?
What's her name?
Ling
Ping
Ling?
Ping Lele?
Ping Ping Ling.
Yeah,
whatever it was.
It's just, if that was Trump, or anybody on the right that's major that was
that would be
dating
more
a
interesting.
Chinese spy,
yeah,
they would have ran him through the ringer. They would have lost their seat. They would have been in handcuffs. They would have been done. But these people still sit there and try to tell the American people what morality is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, they keep wanting to say what morality is, and even though that their own get caught with like bribery.
Daily. And this is
Daily.
only the stuff the stuff that comes out. Imagine everything that we're not seeing.
Oh yeah, there's tons of things we're not seeing. I mean, nobody wants to look into the Clinton Foundation in Haiti, right?
Yeah.
That whole business, like that in and of itself is nutty. But like I said, it's like it would have been crazier. It would have been a better story, in my opinion, if Donald Trump had got caught having sex with the Chinese spy, because then it would actually read like a movie, and they can make a biopic about it, and it would be great.
Yeah.
Right?
No, Donald Trump, the Chinese spy is Donald Trump's aide, and he's having sex with her on the House floor while doing an OnlyFans.
Yeah, it would have to have all of that.
Yeah, all of that.
While a joint session of Congress is happening at the State of the Union, that's what it would have to be.
Yes.
All of that wrapped into one.
With Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi.
With Nancy
videotaping the whole
Pelosi
thing.
like clapping in the background or tearing pieces of paper up at the same time. Yeah, it'd be great. It's like
That's a Hollywood
somebody's
blockbuster
fever
right
dream
there.
right there. But
Yeah.
like I said, it's like they keep coming after the dude.
Yeah.
Even though they know that, like, look at the case for the defamation case with that crazy lady, right?
Jean Carroll.
Yeah.
The E. Jean Carroll thing. It's like, so they found that he, like the jury, they keep saying this, and they saying that he committed sexual assault, right? The jury found him guilty, and it's like, well, no, they didn't. They didn't say that she proved that she was sexually assaulted, but that he defamed her.
Yeah.
Like that was it. And then the second defamation case, which was recently, was because he said the same thing again. So it's like, well, I didn't do it. It's like, well, we said you did do it, and so now you're getting fined. And then they levied an astronomical amount, even more than what she was asking for and her team.
Yes.
It's absolutely crazy.
I mean, look at her and look at Ivanka. I'm just like, really?
I mean, it's not even that. I mean, it's just the fact that she on live television literally said that one of the most horrific acts that you could pull off to a woman is considered sexy. Now, granted, here's the thing though. Statistically speaking, I've seen stats to where those types of fantasies are in fact highlighted as prominent when it comes to the psychological bent of women. But nonetheless, it's still an egregious crime. And you can't sit there on live television with one of the gayest news anchors on television and say that it's sexy.
Yeah. And then also, once you win said lawsuit, go up and say, hey, I'm going to buy a penthouse with the money and spend it on a bunch of god-awful things. It's like, you seem really torn up about the fact that Donald Trump assaulted you. You know, I guess like all of us wishes we got assaulted by Trump so we can have a giant payday too.
That part.
That money's a drop in the bucket, though.
Yeah, the worst part about this whole thing is nobody calls out the fact that she was being backed by another billionaire to file these lawsuits. Another billionaire that dislikes Donald Trump paid for her legal expenses to sue Donald Trump.
Yes.
Who was it?
Because you know we're all about fair and justice in the United States, right? That's
all right. So here is the Bill Maher clip, and this will where we're going to talk about Magic Mike, Killer Mike, Killer Mike, and why he got arrested. Well, our theory on why they took him.
Well, why he got? This is really trending.
We're not saying it's the reason, so understand that. We're just free thinking.
It's very coincidental that 2 days after said interview he gets arrested. That's all
coming up. I mean, Biden and Trump. Are you as depressed about that as most people as a choice?
My feeling is pick your policy, not your person. Find out. This is not the Dallas Cowboys versus your favorite team. This is the policies that will affect our generations for the next 20, 30, 40 years to come. So close your eyes, listen to the policies that are being pushed, and pay attention even to the people who don't have a chance of winning because they're going to say policies you may want to push. And I would say do that, but make it policy-based.
He's right. I mean, that's how most people should be looking at elections and politicians. Is like we shouldn't be looking at the person. We should be looking at the policies they're pushing because they're representatives of your will. I think people tend to forget about that, of what a representative democracy is supposed to be.
And we've talked about stuff like this on the show many times, how people vote for a name, not the policy. I don't care if you're left or right. Everyone is guilty of it. And this is why I think when it comes to voting, there should be no parties on there. There should be no one should know the parties. And it's going to take time for us to get to that point. But, in the near future, 2030, another generation to where no one's a party, it's just a person. You don't know, there's no left or right. There's no Republican, no Democrat. It's just two individuals. It could be a farmer from, Wisconsin going against a radio DJ in California running for president. And you listen to the policies. But right now, it doesn't matter what, like he said, you can have the worst policies on earth, but because you don't like the other guy with his party affiliation, you're going to vote for this guy. And it's just going to keep our country to where it's at right now. Hence, Uncle Joe Biden, old corn pop.
Right, and this is the reason they're going after Trump so hard is they cannot have somebody who stokes this much animosity towards the system that he does. Like, it has nothing to do with Donald Trump, the man. It has everything to do with what he represents, which is the uprising of the people.
That's right.
Right? Every communist's wet dream, right, is rising up the people, but then they don't like Donald Trump because he's causing the rising of the people against the system they built.
Make that make sense.
I know, right? It's amazing. It's like the Democrats say they're for the working man, but then will do everything in their power to crush farmers. Look what they're doing in Europe. Just want to point that out there. Nice. But here's the rest of the interview.
So that means you're for.
That means I'm for black people and happy Black History Month.
But you're not saying one candidate over the other?
Hey man, my nigga, you ain't gonna get me in no trouble tonight.
I should have told you right there.
No.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to get in trouble, right? Because he wasn't going to say.
That's right.
Okay.
That's your job with me, to get me in trouble.
My grandfather gave me some stellar advice sometimes. He said, son, sometimes you just got to know to stay out of white folks' business. And this time, I'm going to keep my mouth closed. I still like the policy that the old man had that I was supporting. I would encourage people to find who's supporting that policy and see what
But you can't get yourself to say vote for Biden over Trump?
Okay, I want to pause here for a second and tell you this next thing that he's about to say is probably the reason why he got arrested.
Can we just say this is
a conspiracy, allegedly, maybe.
No, right. But can we just say right off rip right now, Bill Maher is pulling a Biden to Charlemagne right now?
Yes.
Can we just say that right off rip? Bill Maher is literally saying, look, Killer Mike, if you're having problems whether you're for Biden or Trump, then you ain't black. So
right, yeah, he's definitely doing that, right? Because he assumes that he thinks Trump is racist, right? Because he's black.
Yeah.
Which in fact makes Bill Maher racist because he's assuming that because he's black, he should vote for Biden.
And I love it when these cosmopolitan, Democrats like Bill Maher here try to tell black people what is racist to them.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty much what he's saying. It's up to the individual to decide what is racist. What this black guy over here deems racist may not be racist to me. So he thinks we're a monolith. He thinks we all think the same, and because he thinks, or other black people think Donald Trump's a racist, he should think Donald Trump's a racist instead of letting the man think for himself and figure it out and determine if he thinks Donald Trump is racist.
Yeah,
and this is what they do. It's all mind games. I don't fall for that crap.
But like I said, it's like he and the chats pointed out, they're doing leading questions. This is what a lot of interviewers do, especially in mainstream media, is they do leading questions. It reminds me of Josh Hawley asking the TikTok CEO if he was basically a Chinese communist. And he's like, I live in Singapore, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I have a Singaporean passport. I married an American woman. I do not belong to the Communist Party of China. And he has to they keep repeating that over and over again.
And he kept saying, no, I don't have ties to the Communist
Party of China. Yeah.
He
It's
kept
like,
trying
I
to
am
say it.
Singaporean, dude. I served in the Singaporean army. I'm not Chinese.
It's funny that he was asking him, not to get too far off, but it's funny that he was asking him that when Gavin Newsom had the Chinese,
right. And
president
Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, was shaking Xi's hand.
Yeah. So, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. It's all ridiculous. But the reason it all ties in together, because this is the culture war, right? All of this is part of the culture war, and it's all a part of the thing to get rid of Trump and MAGA. That's it. Like that's what all of this ties into, is like, I know it seems like a tangent to most people, but this is what it is. This is the war we're fighting right now.
Right.
So here, like I said, this is what he said, and this is probably why he got in trouble.
You want me to list it now? So now
I'm just saying that.
Can he get himself to apologize for the crime bill? Can he get himself to get his head out of his ass and say, black people, you are black regardless. I need you to tell me what I need to do. Can he pick a coalition of former people who are affected by drug laws, street gangs, recidivism, and crime, and say, I need you as a board to advise me how to fix federal prisons? If he can do that, absolutely I can. So my challenge is out there.
All right.
And that's why he got in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Because we remember a certain other black individual who happens to be mayor of New York City that said a couple of mean things about Biden, and then all of a sudden a sexual accusation was made against him not a couple of months after.
That's right.
Do we remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's not absolutely crazy enough that they would not arrest this dude under false pretenses at the Grammys in front of everybody and his friends, the people that he works with.
And you know what that's called right there, right? Which
Gestapo. That's what that is. Secret police.
Well, that Gestapo, but what these rich elitists, draconians, whatever you want to call them, what they do is called a humiliation ritual.
Yeah.
They humiliate you so the whole world can see, and whatever happens after that is either going to boost his career, because it's not going to hurt him. That just gave him some clout right there. But
here's the story, so that people understand this. So he's at the Grammys, right? And there's alleged a altercation with a security guard who got in his way. They perform a citizen's arrest and wait for the cops to come and arrest him. They harassed him and followed him, according showing the TMZ clip of them chasing him in the rain, no less, to make sure they got him and arrested him.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't seem like a setup to anybody else, then I have a bridge to sell you to nowhere. Honestly, it sounds absolutely conspiratorial and movie-esque, but that's what happened.
And it goes to show you that the Democratic Party wants black people to toe the line.
Yeah, that's the
you
key.
know, they want you to toe the line, and if you're wealthy and if you're influential, you're not allowed to go against the narrative, because we have young black people that look up to you. We can't have the hood and the thugs and the poor black people looking at you saying to vote for the guy that we're against. We need them to stay under our thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And when you speak out, we are coming after you. Look what happened to a lot of these rappers and what that came out talking about all this stuff. They went after
look
them, called them crazy.
It was Ice Cube.
Yep.
Ice Cube
to ruin
got
their
in
career.
trouble.
And they, they think they own black people because they know the black vote is a very prominent vote in this country.
Well, aside from Caucasians, it's the largest voting bloc in the U.S.
Yes. And if they lose the black vote, the Democratic Party knows that they don't have a chance ever winning another election. Hence, flood the border with immigrants. So
that's another thing.
Hopefully, this woke him up enough to come out and say straight up who he's voting for. After that, I know who I'm voting for.
Yeah, you should know.
Endorse Donald Trump live on TV for everyone to see.
Okay, I wanted to bring up that video because I want people to understand what I'm saying, and just so you know how everything went down. Like, this is after the alleged confrontation happened, and it's just caught by a third party person watching from the outside after it all went down.
All right, I'm bringing it up.
Okay, so here it is from TMZ. As you can see, the security guards are surrounding him and forcing him into a citizen's arrest after an alleged pushing.
Yeah.
An alleged assault, right? Like I said, looking at this and looking at these guys surround him, does this look like a setup?
Yeah.
Very much so.
Because I don't see him doing anything to get him thrown in cuffs.
Yeah. Well, this allegedly happened before this, and they chased him down in order to perform the citizen's arrest on a non-felony crime, because a citizen arrest only works for a non-felony crime. And so these are just security guards. So they're claiming, the security guards, is that he pushed him out of his way because he was being too slow. This is absolutely a setup. Like, without a doubt, this is just the corruption of the system, because a black man went on Bill Maher show and talked badly about the president.
And
that's what this is.
And another thing it's a scare tactic, because most people understand what happened. You got the sheep back there, the dancing sheep. They don't understand. They're just like, oh my God, they arrested him for whatever the narrative is. But a lot of people like us, and a lot of these black celebrities and a lot of these smart ones understand what happened. So what did this do for them? The ones that want to support Trump, it struck fear in them. They're like, well, they're not putting me through that. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. See, here's the thing. These celebrities like him and all this other stuff, they live under the same rules as every other citizen. Your vote is a private vote. For Bill Maher to ask him that was a setup in itself.
Yeah, I would say so.
There was probably rumblings of who he supports. You know what I mean? Because most people who support Trump probably mentioned it to somebody or talk within, private conversations with somebody. So it probably leaked. They told Bill Maher, instead of Bill Maher coming out saying that he knows what he said, he asked them questions.
Yep.
Because if Killer Mike was down with Biden, he would have said it straight. Biden all day, every day.
Yeah, but he wasn't. But he didn't want to. He's still one of those ones that didn't want to be put into it.
So it was a setup. It was a setup on Bill Maher's part. Then the Grammys. And then whatever happened out there, that was a setup to shut him up.
Yep.
And then all this caught on tape, then arrested. It was all a humiliation,
He won 3
thing.
Grammys that night, by the way.
Yeah.
3. That should have been one of the best nights of his life, and instead he got arrested over a BS charge of pushing a security guard.
Yep.
Which, if I remember correctly, the security guard literally backed into him, and then he had to push the guy. So I mean, he was Killer Mike was coerced into that little.
You know what it reminds me of is one of those cartoon things where like, oh, you push him, whoa, and he falls down, and then he's like, I'm suing you.
It reminds me of LeBron James. He flops. But in the age that we live in now, so this happened in front of the Grammys, obviously.
Yeah,
because there was security. There were no cameras around, getting all these celebrities coming in, walking up, because there's usually paparazzi and cameras everywhere. Everywhere. You're saying one camera didn't catch that altercation that led up to that? It's impossible. It's impossible. You can tell by the way he was walking. He was probably being harassed. Something else happened. They were talking crap to him in his face. He just kept walking. They antagonized him. He stopped. They were in his face, and then they made up a story.
Yeah. Here's an update that I just found.
All right.
Killer Mike's son getting kidney transplant after Mike's Grammy arrest. Now, I'm not saying something happened, but he's finally getting that kidney transplant for his son that he needed.
Humiliation. But this all is leading up to what we're talking about, is how powerful and corrupt the Democratic Party is, and they will do anything possible to get what they want. Just like with Fani, they will do anything. They will lie, cheat, hide to get Trump. And anybody who supports him that has some type of influence, they will do anything to shut you down to get what they want. But it's all coming to an end because nothing can stop what is coming.
Yeah, man. I don't mean to get conspiratorial, but that seems oddly coincidental. Along with the oddly coincidental of getting arrested at the Grammys type of coincidental. 2 days after making comments about Biden that exactly weren't the best.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to figure every single artist there is probably a Biden supporter, in front of the cameras. They're not, they're not going to come out and say anything bad about that man. And Killer Mike, he didn't say anything bad. He just didn't endorse him. And what they want is that endorsement. Why? Like I said earlier, the young black people that are listening to you, or the people that listen to your music, the poor people that they consider listen to your music, you just have to come out and say you support me. That way we can get their vote. And he didn't say it. They didn't like it.
He didn't give Master his approval. That's
right.
what it was. They believe, the Democrats, now point that out directly, those on the left, the progressives, believe they own you.
Yeah.
They believe they own the black population. They never stop believing that, believe it or not. It's been a long time since the Democrats had slaves, but they still treat the black population as slaves, believe it or not. You can say that it's the conservatives and Republicans all day long, but they weren't the ones that owned the slaves. That was the Democrats. The Republican Party was started by freed black men.
That's
just
right.
Just want to point that out there. That it was started by abolitionists.
That is true. Yeah, and it's not going to change because they control everything. They control the media, they control entertainment, they control sports, they control it all. And what's the majority of the things that black people watch, or a lot of people, but black people mainly watch football, basketball, rap music, or entertainment. So they control all of that. And a lot of them want to be like their favorite celebrity, want to be like their favorite football player, want to be like their favorite basketball player. And if their favorite basketball player, rapper, or artist is supporting Trump, they're stealing votes. Psychologically, they're like, oh, well, they look up to you. And if you support Trump, they're going to support Trump. Like I said earlier, you're stealing votes from us. So you better toe the line and say you support Biden because we need those votes. You vote how you want afterwards, but on camera, you better do what we tell you to do, or else.
But the crazy part, though, is that you have it's not just the entertainment industry that most minorities look up to. It's also the fact that you have Fani Willis herself, who is a woman of color in a political position, wielding power, and then that pulls on the heartstrings of the more emotionally incontinent in our population, people who suffer from emotional diarrhea, I should say. And that's what gets them inflamed into saying, hey, we got to be on Fanny's side because she's a Democrat, she's Black, she's a politician, and she's a woman who holds the second highest position in the Georgia court system. It's like,
that's right.
Of course, you're gonna toe the line for the Democrats because look, it's Fanny. Fanny did it, I could do it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and if they can keep pushing that the fact that Trump is a racist, if she would have got what she wanted, you know, within the Black community, and be like, she took down that white racist man. We're going to support her.
And they'd put her up for president or something.
She'll get the freaking
Nobel
Peace
seat or
Prize.
something. Yeah. Should have gotten something. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael, I found this. I thought it was funny.
Right.
Since we were talking about the Grammys, the internet be the internet, and everybody loves messing with Taylor Swift. So she gets the nice Trump flag that says the Democrats cheated.
Oh man, I really, it's crazy times. So this is, like I said, this is really going to shake up the political. This is really going to shake up the political world, especially if this case gets thrown out. Because now, you know, you have to ask yourself, like, what else are they going to come up with? You know, this was considered bull crap. The other one with Jack, whatever his name, Smith, bull crap.
Federal prosecution.
Yeah, all that is crap. Nothing is coming through. And these are supposed to be like major cases, like televised and all this stuff, and nothing's happening. So what are they going to go for now? What are they going to, they're going to go deep down in the 1960s when he was, you know, a teenager and say,
there's only one option left, and we know this. We all know what that one option left is.
Well, yeah, we're not going to say it, but
I know, but that's the only thing they have left, because no politician in the history of the United States has gone through the most amount of smears and campaigns to actually undermine his presidency and then also get him unelected or be unelectable in the first place than Donald Trump. Like, and I will say this outright. I've said this before many times on the Hooch. I did not vote for Donald Trump either time. I did not, because I just didn't. Okay. So this is coming from a person who did not vote for the guy in the first place. I'm defending him because it's the right thing to do, because these people are insane.
Yes.
Right. And so this is what I say, is that they only have one option left if they cannot remove him from the ballot. And that's what we're going to see in the courts this week. The Supreme Court is hearing on whether Donald Trump is eligible to run for office in the first place.
That's right.
And as we've already seen, certain justices on the Supreme Court can be swayed to uphold the Fed system because of what they did with the border, right? Upholding that law, saying that Texas has no right to defend their own border.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to do anything possible. We have 9 months left, and it's getting down to the wire right now. So, you know, they have probably one more chance that they can try to pull something. And like you said, they're going to try to pull them off the ballot, but I don't think it's going to work. And here's the problem when they pull them off the ballot and Supreme Court tries to tell, you know, sovereign states that he can't be on the ballot. These states are going to revolt like Texas did. Every single state that went down to help Texas, they're not going to listen. They're going to revolt.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, no, we're not doing that, and you can't make us. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? You know, because they know his chances of winning are really high, especially with the new poll numbers that came out. You know, Biden is getting demolished right now. Trump is going to win South Carolina. Trump's going to win California. He's just going to kill it in all these caucuses. And if you look at Biden's number from the Democratic caucus, they only had 141 something thousand people even show up to vote. That's like 4% of registered voters.
Right. And what's funny is like now that they've already gotten that out of the way, they finally got the other guy that's running against Biden on the mainstream media. And it's like, well, why aren't you doing better against Biden? You only got 5%. It's because you won't let me talk.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And the funny thing is, the reason I know that the only other person in this running that is being backed by the system is Nikki Haley is because she appeared on Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah, once they put
And
her on there,
friendly terms. Yeah, she showed up. They even let her in the bits.
and they did a
Right?
skit on Trump.
Yep, they did this on Trump. So that just shows you exactly who Nikki Haley is and who is backing her, because nobody in their right mind on the Republican side would ever be invited on SNL if they truly thought she was a threat.
That's right. That's right. And you know, I go to Nikki Haley's Twitter all the time, or X, and I always call her a Democrat. I said, just tell everyone you're a Democrat. Stop lying.
Right.
You're a Democrat. Or you're
That'll
supported
happen
by-
after the primary. She'll be running on the Democrat ticket.
Yeah, with Big Mike. But
Oh.
it's going to get very interesting these next few months, man. So you know, the only thing we have to watch out for, especially when it comes to election time, is there's a lot of stuff brewing right now. You know, especially when it comes to like World War III and all this other stuff. You have to understand they will do anything, like we said earlier, to keep Trump out of office. If that means we have to start a world war, because if there's war, guess what doesn't happen? So if we have to start a world war, no election. So if we have to start a world war to keep Trump out of office, we're going to do whatever we have to do to keep him out of office.
Yeah.
So I mean, right now they're just holding out. They're going to wait till after South Carolina, and then the next one would be what, California?
Yeah. So here's the plan.
If he wins those, they're gonna come in big guns.
I'll summarize it for the viewers. This is what I think. This is what I think the Democrats are doing. Is the first one, line of defense, is getting enough people to not vote for him. That's not working. Okay, so we got to go to the other plan, which is federal interference. That's not working. Multiple cases, not working. The only ones that have been successful is the defamation case, which just barely hit his pocketbook. Okay, that's not working either. So what's our next bet? Kick him out of the primary. Nikki Haley is that person that's going to kick him out of the primary. They hope. It was supposed to be DeSantis, but it wasn't. So now it's Haley. Right? So now we're backing Haley to get him kicked out. If that doesn't work, we have to remove him from the ballot. If that doesn't work, we get World War III. And if that doesn't work, it's definitely civil war. Because in what happened in the Civil War, they can suspend any civil liberties they need to protect the sovereignty of the United States and treat the people they already see as enemies the way that they actually want to treat them, which is enemy combatants.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. That's the plan.
That sounds like a pretty. That's not far off.
I mean, it's believable. Like I said, these people are desperate, man. And then Retro brought up Disease X. So, you know, that's another thing.
I forgot about Disease X. You're right.
And,
that's in
and
there
people
too.
have to remember that they signed that order. The president signed that order to allow
the WHO to actually get involved in politics and supremacy. So I forgot about Disease X. You're right. They could do that. So like, and you say, well, they wouldn't release a disease on the world to stop something. Well, coincidentally, there was a certain high profile financier that was arrested in 2019. And coincidentally, a lab leak in Wuhan happened.
Connect the dots.
I'm
people.
not saying they released a plague on the world to defend themselves against Epstein. But I'm not saying they wouldn't do it. just pointing that out. So, like, would they use Disease X? Sure, they could. I think they've already done that one, and they've got enough. Yeah, but we've already got all the other stuff, right? We've got
that's true.
We've got all of these plans laid out. Whether they've come to fruition or not is a different story.
Yeah,
and so they're all coordinating with each other to make that happen. We'll see. Definitely see.
But I mean, it's not that far off. I mean, every single point you're making, Coy, is logically consistent with how they have been behaving over the course of the last few years. So
were they not? Yeah, I would go on the side of they probably would.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, so just pay attention to what's going on in the world, because things are Things are getting wild, man. And Trump is going to come out on top, and they're terrified. It's not they're terrified because Trump was a bad president. They're terrified for the movement itself, the America First movement, putting the American people first. They don't want that. They want total control of us all. And Donald Trump wants to get the power back to the people. Yes, he may come off. People may not like his personality and all this. Who cares? There's a lot of people's personalities I don't like.
Right.
But I like what he stands for, and I do dig his personality. You know, I like that kind of in your face, tell it like it is, you know, personality. So you can either take some old guy with dementia who can barely walk upstairs, who trips over random things, who shakes invisible people's hands on stage, who has to get led off stage by his handler, his wife, who walks around the stage like a Roomba. You take your pick, or you can take the guy who's a little younger than him that could still get up there and talk without a teleprompter and tell the people how he feels about this country and is willing to really change it. It's up to you. I don't know. Do you?
Yeah, it's definitely up to you.
But then again, I mean, in all honesty, I think Killer Mike was right when he said, look at the policies that are being pushed by some of these people. And then you got, you know, I mean, if you were going to vote for Fani Willis, listen to what she peddles in terms of her policies. If you like it, more power to you. If you don't, then don't vote her in. And I think that's the key thing here. We have to be people who listen to policies over personalities. And that's the thing.
Michael, bring this up because I want to leave our viewers with this image before we go.
All right, here I remember this. This is the guy that they say is like the best president ever.
This just says everything you need to know of who you should really vote for. Is this picture? Is Joe Biden being led around by the Easter Bunny in a dress?
I think the Easter Bunny was his wife, because that is his handler.
Probably.
Look at him. Now look at this guy. This guy. This is the guy that is the face of America. This guy.
This is the guy running the country, or supposedly running the country.
The guy pooping his pants. You know, has to eat.
Are y'all embarrassed?
Applesauce.
Don't you feel
should be
funny?
Yeah, but
the presidency is a retirement home, because that's exactly where you should be right now.
Oh yeah, you know, that's elder abuse. You know, most of us have to retire at the age of 65, so that should tell you a lot. That
unless you're Nikki Haley, then you have to retire at 70.
Oh, 75 now, you know. But
work until you die. That's all.
Great show. Marlon should be back Wednesday. Sorry, you know, he had some stuff going on, but you know, give a big shout out to Marlon and tell him how much you miss him. Also, make sure you guys head over to our social media pages. We have the Savage Patriots Facebook page. We have the Grizzle Grunt, which is another one which is trending right now because, you know, liberal trolls are jumping in and my people are destroying them.
Having fun.
They're having fun. And make sure you check out the Hooch page on Facebook. Check out all our social medias and check out our Hooch LinkedIn that has all our pages on there.
Linktree, not LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, Linktree, whatever. They're linked.
It has links in it.
Yeah, they all have links in it. But
what's on the Hooch tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I was going to talk about the dark age of media because I didn't do it Saturday, and then we're going to talk about a couple of other things that are trending. But that's the main one, that and the border, and probably make fun of Josh Hawley and his questions because we need to bring up that interview because it's hilarious.
Yeah, and Jay, if you want to join, same with Marlon's been out there, join us. You know, if you're not doing anything, it's the same thing. It's just a different name.
Yeah,
same game, different name. There we go.
All right,
we want to merge the whole identities though. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, we can merge them. We're one team, one fight, just under different.
It's all
names.
good. All right, there you go.
All right, Jay, take us out.
So like, share, comment, subscribe, and we will see y'all Wednesday.
Peace.